Greetings everyone, this is a '04 Hyundai XG 350. We're doing a timing belt and water pump on this baby. What you're gonna do first, to get your covers off. I still got to get that cover over there off. You get your covers off. Okay. You're gonna take this hose, if you want to take this hose off, power steering, loop it back there, over there out the way. Power steering pump will be able to stay here. You're gonna get that other cover off over there. You're gonna take the pulley off. I use an impact wrench. Some people use a little breaker by trick. I don't do that. It's impact. Then you're gonna, once you get that pulley off, you see your hydraulic tensioner, all your tension is there and everything. There's a pulley here for this small belt that wraps behind the crank. You take this 12mm off. You're gonna loosen that nut on the pulley, and you got a bolt right here, 12, that you can go up under the bottom through here and get it with a wrench, ratchet, come up to the bottom, or you can sit here and get it. Break that down to get that pulley off. You get your small belt off. There, my belt's laying there. Your small belt off and your alternator belt. You come up, take the bottom cover off here. There's a cover. You come up under here with your a ratchet, 12mm, and you just turn this one down counterclockwise. Loosen this nut on this pulley for the alternator, and this one here come down for you. You get that belt off. It's real easy to get this one from the bottom. Just go from the bottom and get it. Just take the little plate off. Take this front cover off. All 10mm bolts. There's a crank pulley. What you're gonna do, you're gonna rotate the engine around. See, I got a little dimple here. And you see the little dimple in that plate back there. Okay, you're gonna get that little dimple lined up with that straight line. There. Now you can't get number one up top because the plenum in the way, so you're gonna rotate the engine around till you wind up there and make sure you on number one on the compression. You come up here and you see them little white dots. There's some white dots under there. Where the hell they go? Right there. I got white on them. The white dots are going to line up with your blue on each crank gear. It's going to wind up when you bring it around. Make sure you have it on number one. Don't take nothing off because you got it on number one. And what you want to do before you take your belt off, there's a tool that they rent at O'Reilly's, $49 a set. You're going to set them in here and lock it. It's a plastic tool, and you're going to set them in here and lock it. Once you know that you got these lined up with that, with the bottom lined up, you know you're on number one. When all of them line up, you'll know it. Lock them in. Pull the mount off. Support your engine on jack stands like I got in the piece of wood. Okay, piece of wood. You just crank it up a little bit to bring it up so you can get to it. Be careful, don't crank this car too high because your AC compressor wire can snap loose up under there. Now this alternator, I don't have to take, I'm not going to take the fan out, but for some of you all, you can actually remove this fan. Get it out of your way. You can get your hand in that bellow to work because that alternator has to come off. You got your 12mm bolts right here on that bracket. You got a bolt here you got to loosen up, take out, and you got another long one. Right below that bracket, it goes all the way across. This is here. You can see it sticking out. It slides straight across. You got to get that one out, pop it out from the back. The alternator will fall to the side, but if you want more room, like I say, get your fan out your way. The alternator will fall a little further over, you can get your hand in there and work better. That's all I'm saying, if you want to. I didn't do it, but if you need to, do it. Like I say, before you take your belt off, lock it in, lock the gears. Once you know you're on number one, paint, put white out, find the teeth. If you want to, count across. Same thing on the other side. You go down by the crank gear. Get you some white out. Mark it somewhere. When you take this belt off, once you loosen this pulley, you're going to change also. It's going to come new in the pack. Once you loosen this nut, it's going to slack it up. You see them little two holes? I made me a tool to fit in there so I can swing this over and lock it up. So I got me a tool. Some people use them little snip looking pliers or use snap rings. I got a tool that'll go up in there pretty good. I can put it over, lock it, and then I put my hydraulic tension on. This hydraulic tension, you're gonna pop these 12mm off, put it in the vise, compress it, put a pin in here or a small drill bit to hold that. Then once you're ready, you know you got your belt set, you're gonna start your belt from the crank pulley, and so it'll stay here. You just shove your little screwdriver or something in here so the belt will stay. Then you come up and route your belt on the tensioner, swing it around on the water pump, put it on the after you wrap the belt on the water pump, you want to put your belt on this pulley. And when you put on that pulley, you lock it in with some clips that you can get from, the little stores. They got the little clips. Put them on there. You bring your belt around, bring it around the water pump. Keep it nice snug. Put your belt on this pulley. Lock it with your clips. Now, before you do all this, you know that you got that tool that you can rent in here. Once you know you set number one, you lock them in. These, just your crank plug. All let's do is squeeze and come loose right here. And take that out the way, you can move it out of your way. Get this plate out the way. You're gonna wind up cranking the engine up, raise it up a little bit. With the oil pan, a piece of wood up on there so you can really get to the bolts to get this cover off. And remember, everything goes back now. And your crank sensor loops through the belt. So you can't get that belt off until you take that crank sensor loose. Anyway, once you take it loose, you might well change it. Here's your cam sensor. It sits there, right between them two gears. It's right down there. It's hidden behind this gear. And it keeps time of this. And it's plugged in on this side. I'll tell a person, hey, change them both if you got it off. I'm gonna make a follow-up video once everything is off. But to just give you a heads up on the this Hyundai XG 350. All that stuff has to come off. I'll get this off too. Show you later once I have this big support bracket, engine support bracket off. It has about 4 long bolts. Yeah, to get off. You crank the engine up and it'll wiggle out. Once you turn a little sideways, it'll wiggle out for you. But you definitely, alternator won't be coming out. And if you have to change alternator on this car, it's recommended that the front bumper come off, the red head come out, and the fans in order for the alternator to come out. Because if you said you can see it, there's no way in hell that thing can squeeze and come out nowhere from the top or the bottom. So since you're working on your timing belt, I say just move the fan for now, just to get the alternator to go a little further, so you can stick your hand in there and get these 2 alternator bolts here out. You got to take these 2 out, then unplug it. There's the plug right here. Unplug it. Then you're gonna take this one out, that one. So you got about 5 alternator bolts to get off. Yeah, that's a lot of work to get this change the timing belt on the XG 350. But it's no big deal once you know where everything is at. The main thing is getting yourself on number one. Rotate it around till your blue lines line up with your white on both sides, and your crank is in between that dimple that I showed you. Once it's in that little dimple, you can see it. There's a dimple right there. Put that straight line, which is that line there, in between the dimple. Look up top. Your other 2 blues on each side are lined up with the white. You on number one. If you get this in between the dimples, and it's like I'm showing you up here, you see how that other blue to the left, then you're not on number one yet. You go around again until both of these are lined up with the white and your bottom is lined up. Now you know you're on number one. Take that battery loose like I got it loose there. Disconnect that battery. And from there, so you don't make a mistake and bump this engine around. You want to mess these valves and things up in there. And that's that with the XG 350. It's a lot to take off, but it's no big deal once you know what you're doing. And this is the pulley I was telling you about that goes over on that side over there for the small belt. You're gonna wind up taking this one off. There's a screw that go on this side, and it sits like this. So it goes up and down to tighten that belt up over there. This is the way it sits up under there. So I just take it completely off and set it to the side. I got the mount sitting on the ground there. It's that big mount that you're gonna wind up taking off. And it has three bolts there. Comes out. You get that mount off. And that mount, when I took it off, that mount was 17 millimeter bolts. And that crank bolt that I took off to get the crank pulley off, that I used a 7/8. These 7/8 fit that nut. Yeah, yep, 7/8 fitted perfect. Yeah, so that's it for now. I have a follow-up video later once I have everything else off. But it's the XG 2004 XG 350 Hyundai.